The Galactic Council had seen many terrors in their thousand-year reign over the known systems. They had witnessed the void swarms consume entire star clusters, endured the reality-bending attacks of interdimensional parasites, and survived the mechanical uprising of the synthetic collective. But nothing, absolutely nothing, had prepared them for what emerged from the human colony of New Olympus. It called itself the Retribution. Fleet Admiral Zorthak of the Hegemony Navy first encountered the vessel during what should have been a routine pacification mission. His armada of 200 ships had been dispatched to bring the rebellious human settlement to heel, a task that typically required less than an hour against primitive colonial defenses. The Retribution changed everything. Sir, his tactical officer had reported, mandibles clicking nervously, single contact approaching. Designation unknown. Mass impossible to determine. On the view screen, the human warship materialized from hyperspace like a nightmare given form. It wasn't large by conventional standards, barely 800 meters long, but something about its geometry defied comprehension. The hull seemed to fold in on itself, creating angles that hurt to perceive directly. Weapons ports lined its surface in configurations that violated every principle of naval architecture, yet somehow achieved perfect symmetry. "Hail them," Zorthak had ordered, confident in his overwhelming numerical superiority. The response came not in words, but in action. The Retribution fired once. A single beam of coherent energy lanced out, striking the lead dreadnought subjugator. The massive vessel, 3 kilometers of hardened battle steel and quantum shielding, simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed, not atomized, but erased from reality so completely that even the debris vanished. Space itself seemed to forget the ship had ever been there. "Impossible," Zorthak whispered, his 3 eyes dilating in horror. The human vessel began to move, and physics wept. It didn't accelerate. Acceleration implied a gradual increase in velocity. The Retribution simply decided to be elsewhere, appearing instantaneously between formations that should have been light minutes apart. Its weapons fired continuously now, each shot removing another ship from existence with surgical precision. Capital ships, cruisers, destroyers, all vanished with equal ease. What terrified Zorthak most wasn't the destruction, but the restraint. The Retribution could have annihilated his entire fleet simultaneously. Instead, it killed methodically, giving survivors time to understand their helplessness before erasing them from the universe. Within 7 minutes, a force that had conquered star systems was reduced to scattered escape pods and Zorthak's flagship, left alive to spread the word. The emergency session of the Galactic Council lasted 6 hours and reached the same conclusion every military analyst across 40 species had already drawn. Conventional warfare against the Retribution was not just futile. It was a mathematical impossibility. The humans have somehow weaponized the fundamental forces of reality itself, reported Chief Scientist Velterra, her normally composed demeanor shattered. Their ship doesn't fire energy weapons. It fires erasure. It doesn't move through space. It edits its position in the cosmic code. Intelligence reports painted an even grimmer picture. The Retribution wasn't some ancient artifact or alien gift. It was human engineering, born from their colony's most brilliant minds and their species' terrifying capacity for innovation under pressure. Construction logs indicated they had built it in 18 months using nothing. Every major military installation within 50 light-years of human space received the same order. Withdraw immediately and establish a quarantine perimeter. Trade routes were abandoned. Entire sectors were written off as lost territory. The galaxy's most powerful civilizations, species that had ruled over millions of worlds, fled before a single human warship. Captain Elena Rodriguez of the Retribution watched the exodus from her command deck with grim satisfaction. Her ship's quantum AI reported the steady retreat of hostile forces, leaving human space completely clear for the first time in decades. Message from the Colonial Defense Force, her communications officer reported. "They're asking if we need backup for the next patrol." Rodriguez smiled coldly. Tell them we've got it covered. I think the neighbors finally understand the property lines. In the depths of space, the Retribution continued its patrol,